Just over 40 years ago, Dick and Karen Clements and Dave and Sandy Geese thought this area needed another witness for Christ. Instead of just dreaming about it, they did something about it.
And we finally said, well, let's just try this, because the Lord, if He wants the church to start, it will start. All we have to do is open the door. So Sandy and David, gracious hosts, opened that door, set up the chairs. Those chairs never went down.
On the first night, when we had not really invited anyone, and the knocks kept coming on the door, and we ended up with, what,
26 people.
26
there.
people.
As it turned out, I was the one that they ended up calling as their pastor in May of 1979.
We would pray for these amazing things, and they were healed, people came to the Lord, and that was what amazed me the most. I've never been in a group where you pray and then your answers come right away. That was really another sign that the Holy Spirit had something in mind that was special.
I well remember the days where we met in their living room. That was the midweek meetings, and of course then they started using the Sunday morning facility over at Forest Lawn Facilities.
We met at Forest Lawn for 2 years. Dick was always there, and he would reach out and give us the Forest Lawn handshake.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember that?
No.
What was the Forest Lawn?
Huh?
Check the pulse.
I was with the church through a series of facilities.
We met at Cypress High for 2 years.
That meant every Sunday morning we'd bring in all of our stuff in a van.
Everything for the nursery, the child care, and then we were able to lease Morris School in Cypress because it was closed.
We had just had the big congregational meeting where we actually voted to buy our own place. We're embarrassed to this day about not recognizing the immediate next morning provision of God of the congregation's vote to go ahead and buy their own facility.
As the church matured, Brad Brinson, Bill Hull, and their staffs led many to a loving relationship with Jesus as Cypress Church reached out locally and globally and grew deeper in the Word and in discipleship. Over the last decade and a half, Mike McKay and his staff have clarified the vision of Cypress Church.
You were planned for God's pleasure, for worship. You were formed for God's family, fellowship. You were created to become like Christ. That's growth.
Cypress Church has multiplied its ministry by sending missionaries all over the world.
He was able to heal the sick. He was able to give sight to the blind.
Young people, as well as retired folks seeking to finish well, and several local pastors have found their calling and footing while serving at Cypress. As excited as we are about the past, we can't wait for what God has in the future for Cypress Church. The increased engagement in the city of Cypress is sure to bear fruit as we compassionately relate to our community, and our vision is to move this engagement beyond Cypress. 5 years ago, we launched the branch church at Los Alamitos, and the vision is to have many more in the cities surrounding Cypress. Our desire is to plant branches in every one of these cities so that each city will have its own neighborhood church. Congratulations on 40 great years.
Yay!
Let's go for the next 40.
Amen.